Sounds good. Thanks. Sometimes I'm like, should I have put that? Is apparently the most interesting piece of information that I have put out there about myself because everyone asks about that.
Great. I'm curious if Mr. Bunny looks like a bunny.
He's got giant ears. So hi everybody. Thanks to Anne and thanks to all of you for attending today. I'm gonna accept the premise that you're all here because federal funding is popular and is worth the squeeze. Because I'm here to make that case that we need to work together to preserve and protect a lot of the federal funding that we have seen here in Arizona. I can give a brief background about the Office of Resiliency. We are a pretty new office. Governor Hobbs established the Office of Resiliency in her inaugural State of the State. We bring together natural resource policy from transportation to energy to clean to water and to land use policy areas. And the policy advisors provide that kind of analysis and then stakeholder work, and then give some recommendations to Governor Hobbs during legislative session, and then throughout the year on a number of proactive initiatives we have going. Blaise over here. Blaise, I'll actually ask if you could jump in and introduce yourself briefly before I continue.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. And so good to see you all, especially some friends from our local governments here. I actually come from a local government background prior to working in the governor's office and working on the utility side as well, and just really appreciate local governments, all the work they're able to do. So, Blaise Caudill, I'm the Deputy Director for the Governor's Office of Resiliency, and then also the Energy Policy Advisor to the Governor. And it's been honestly the biggest pleasure and honor to work within the Office of Resiliency and work with Director Mahoney, who brings such a vision to our office and really a vision to the governor's approach on policy when it comes to natural resources and how we engage with the federal government on federal funds. So again, thank you so much for your work and really looking forward to the conversation today.
Yeah, thanks, Blaise. Yeah, so we're a new office. I started February of 2023, and then we've built out from there. And we have 11 staff at this point. Jason O'Leary and Gabriel Sanchez Munoz are online right now, I believe. And they are two of our very important staff members. And we'll get a little bit more into it. So as I mentioned, we bring together natural resource policy analysis and recommendations, but we also function as the state energy office. So every state throughout the country, as well as our territories, receives an annual appropriations through Congress for a state energy office. And that work is really focused on energy efficiency, energy security, and ensuring that our state, it allows for different states to use those dollars for different priorities, but energy efficiency and security are two of the key ones that are kind of the requirements that the energy dollars be used for. So we function as a state energy office, which has allowed us to be the administrator or the recipient of a number of federal funding dollars, thanks to the historic investments from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act, or Bill and Ira, our favorite buddies. And since we went from me coming on board in February 2023, we have been able to secure over $350 million in grants to benefit Arizonans throughout the state. We've also developed the state's energy security plans 2 years in a row, and we are currently working on the third one. And this is improving coordination and collaboration across jurisdictions and across sectors on energy security. And we've developed the state's first climate action plan and economy-wide greenhouse gas inventory since 2006. And we are working on a comprehensive climate action plan currently. We also led the development of the state's first extreme heat preparedness plan and numerous heat mitigation and relief initiatives. So we're pretty proud of the work that we've been able to do in less than 2 years already, but we've only been able to do this because of federal funding. The office is almost entirely funded by federal dollars, and that means that not only were we in a really wonderful position and a great confluence of events that allowed us to pull in over $300 million, but that also makes us a little bit susceptible or vulnerable to the political wins, meaning in the new administration, we are turning to looking at how can we secure those funds that we have already been awarded. With three of our biggest awards, which is the homes and the home energy rebate dollars and the Solar for All award, we will be able to decrease the energy burden of thousands of Arizona households by 20% or more, electrify households that have not yet had access to electricity, and improve outcomes for vulnerable households in extreme heat. So we're really excited about the impact that we are going to be able to have on Arizonans. And again, just very proud that we have been able to do this in less than 2 years. So,
Oh, Maren,
sure.
are
Yeah,
your slides are they to be progressing?
I will move through my slides.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
This
great.
was just uh, so the slides, the reason I'm here really is to talk about what is at stake in the new administration. And that's what these slides are really have kind of identified some of the, not only the grants that Office of Resiliency has pulled in and that we are a little concerned about, but also some of the tax credits and other impacts to Arizonans, the investments that Arizona across the board has been able to bring in and what this means. So thank you, Anne. All right, moving forward, maybe, because I just clicked. There we go. Okay. There's a really terrific map called at the invest.gov link. I'm not going to click on it, but it shows the different public investments and the private investments that have been pulled in thanks to those public investments. So, okay. Oh, I have to click on it. Okay. So you can see where some of these private investments are throughout the state, and then the public investments are the green and blue dots on the left. And if you go to that live link on the right, it's actually kind of a more interactive, dynamic map, but it's this very, very helpful to understand that all of Arizona has already benefited from the BIL and the IRA. One of the examples is the tax credit for energy communities. It's a tax credit bonus, actually, up to 10% for production tax credits or for investment tax credits for utility scale renewable energy that is being cited in energy communities, which is defined as communities that are within a radius of fossil fuel plants. So you can see our northeastern Arizona communities are in particular have benefited and continue to see potential benefit from these tax credits. Blaise and I had a really cool opportunity to go up to Chevelon Butte, which is a wind energy facility that is located on the oldest operating cattle ranch in Arizona. The governor, we flew up with the governor and she did a ribbon cutting. And it really showed a nice confluence there of old Arizona and new Arizona, how they can work together on the same lands. What else is at stake? We are seeing that APCO, which is really the generation for most of the co-ops or for the rural co-ops throughout Arizona, has been selected to receive $485 million to essentially decarbonize their generation. This is transformational for rural co-ops throughout Arizona and other states in the Southwest. It's going to reduce pollution by more than 1 million tons, and it's going to do so without sacrificing affordability or electricity reliability. It's going to expand. Additionally, through community benefits agreements, it's going to expand energy efficiency in rural households and establish an agrivoltaic educational program. And this is thanks to a program called the New Era program, which was in the IRA. Another program that we are a bit concerned about is the Solar for All grant, and that is the award to my office. I will say, last week, late last week, had a major milestone where we did receive our award letter, which means that there's an extra layer of legal protection now on that grant. So we are breathing a little bit easier in the past couple of days regarding Solar for All. However, until the dollars are actually drawn down and actually spent, there's no guarantee. The key part that I wanted to show here is that with Solar for All Arizonans, the program will reach over 11,000 low and moderate income households. It's going to result in, this is really an estimate, but $165 million in bill savings and 61 megawatts of solar. Now that is up from the current number of 7 megawatts of distributed solar in our state. And so exponentially, Solar for All will deploy exponentially more solar, rooftop solar. And then, of course, energy workforce training programs. So there's Solar for All dollars that we secured that we are going to put towards energy workforce training programs. If these dollars are not actually awarded, or if these dollars don't actually end up flowing to Arizonans, then we're going to miss out on $21 million and numerous energy workforce opportunities. Again, workforce training, we applied for a grant called the TREC Energy. I can never remember this acronym. Maybe Blaise can.
But training for residential energy contractors. It's a weird one.
And that, if you want to jump in, this is $2.6 million in workforce training that we do have some concern about these dollars not coming to Office of Resiliency as well. And then I mentioned the home energy rebates, and that's what so there's actually two programs. It's the HOMES program, that's the energy efficiency measures rebates for low and moderate income homes. And then there's the HERE program, which is the electric appliance program, and those are rebates. And together we're calling those Efficiency Arizona. So in the event we are unable to actually get these dollars out the door from the federal government, we won't be able to support over 20,000 households. So why am I talking about this other than to brag about the work that we're doing and the impact that we think that we're excited to have on Arizonans over the next 5 to 10 years? We know that many of you have also secured a number of federal funding grants. And we also know that they're in various stages of being awarded or being drawn down. And that means that there's various levels of risk of those dollars not actually getting to Arizona. And we want to talk and hear about what you might be concerned about under the new administration, share what we have heard and learned from the national organizations that we've been speaking to regularly in the wake of the election, and talk about some strategies to make sure that these dollars actually go to Arizonans, because these are Arizona, we believe very strongly, these are Arizona dollars, and this is Arizona's future. And we right now, we need to prepare to make sure that we defend that future. Thank you. Okay, so Solar for All Arizonans. We received our award letter last week for $156 million to deploy distributed solar across disadvantaged communities in Arizona. Our focus is on deploying solar and storage installations in rural and tribal communities with limited grid reliability, as well as urban communities in low and moderate income households. Our expected launch, and this is tentative, is late 2025. This it's really 3 programs. Let me go back here. First, distributed solar. It's actually green mortgage. Really, it will provide loans and grants for distributed rooftop solar in low and moderate income households, and that's the bulk of the funds. or right now we're hiring somebody, we're bringing on some staff so that we can get these programs up and running. But we did take a year or two for the planning for the infrastructure of this program so that we could have all of the consumer protections and all of the necessary agreements in place before we get this programs up and running. That said, because we have been told that getting the dollars out the door is the best way to protect these dollars, we are looking at whether we can request an abridged or abbreviated planning time frame. Please take that with a grain of salt. I have no idea what is possible, what isn't, but that's what our request is for. Not a grain of salt, but please take that with an understanding that it's right now we have been told we have a planning year, and there's no guarantee that we'll be able to make that any shorter. The second program that we put together is neighborhood solar. So in Arizona, uh, the the Corporation Commission does not allow for community solar. And I'm going to take this moment, actually, now that I've brought up the Corporation Commission. A lot of this program really depends on the Corporation Commission and the policies that are happen there. The commission is the regulator. They regulate the utilities. My office does not. We don't have any regulatory authority. Actually, we have no statutory authority either. So we have to operate within the bounds of our grants and within the bounds of the policies and the priorities that Governor Hobbs put forth to us, and also through our partnerships and how we can cooperate with with our local and our local communities and building off of the wonderful work that you're all doing. So the neighborhood solar program is the best of our ability to make sure that renters and people who live in multifamily housing are able to receive the benefits of solar, of distributed solar. The idea here is to build a 1 to 5 megawatt distributed solar installations, and with the funds we have set aside for this, it would be about 5 of these projects. Partner with the utilities to provide bill discounts to low-income households, and then they would be able to get those bill credits that would result in a minimum savings of 20%. And then the third program is Rural and Tribal Solar Plus Storage, and this is a program for a resiliency program, looking at households that are not electrified but would benefit from a distributed solar plus battery package on their homes or near their homes to help electrify those homes. Are there any questions so far?
Not specifically in the chat about that one, but okay.
Well, I had a question about the strategy too. So, I mean, that sounds like a community solar project. How,
we did our best.
Yeah, so how does that fit with the ACC's, which, it's not, as you said, it's not legally enabled in Arizona. So I'm just, how would that work?
So I think the main difference here is that in this program, the utilities will own and operate the solar, whereas under true community solar, that is ownership by the community.
Right. Okay. I see. But there's still a 20% discount for ratepayers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd sign up for that.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Again, we have no regulatory authority. Trust me, if I was in a different position, things would be very different. All right. Solar for All Arizonans, we're looking to partner with utilities, yes, but also finance institutions, which we think are really going to be key to these programs to help develop this program as a longer term beyond the initial seed funding of Solar for All dollars. We hope that these dollars will go longer and farther, well beyond the end of the grant program itself. We need community-based organizations to help us get the word out, build trusted relationships with the communities that we hope will benefit from these dollars. And then, of course, there are state government agencies as well that we're working closely with, including the Arizona Finance Authority, which has also under Governor Hobbs been reinvigorated, which has bonding authority, and then the Department of Housing as well. And they have the weatherization program within their department. And our next steps, again, this is what we have currently, but we are requesting some changes given the 2025 election results. Work plan, we submitted our work plan that was due, I believe is the end of October, which was basically, this is what we're gonna do over the next year. So we submitted that plan, and then we are now in a hiring frenzy, and we have the 2025 year to plan these programs. And we're really looking forward to getting these dollars at the door because, again, this is going to be really transformational, we believe.